Hello everyone, this is Abby and Brittany, and we are going to walk you through a brief PowerPoint presentation that we made on technology for assessment.
First and foremost, assessment is evaluating, measuring, and collecting data on student performance to assess academic readiness in a particular area. Teachers can do this through a wide variety of tools. Like the picture shows, assessment is a cycle. First, teachers must define the intended objectives, then they have to measure the selected learning outcomes. After data is collected, they must compare outcomes with the goals and finally make modifications as needed to improve learning. Technology is making the cycle much easier for teachers.
There are two types of assessment, formative and summative. Formative assessment is to monitor student learning in a way that provides feedback to instructors so that they can make changes as needed. Formative assessments are generally low stakes, meaning that they have a low point value and are not a make it or break it for a student. Examples could be drawing a concept map to represent understanding, polling, or in-class quizzes to monitor progress.
The next type of assessment is summative. The goal of this type is to evaluate student learning at the end of a unit through comparison of certain objectives set. This can be conducted through a variety of methods, including testing, projects, speeches, etc. The information teachers collect from these assessments can be used to guide preparation for future courses as well as make immediate adjustments as needed. This picture depicts the same information we just discussed, but is more of a visual aid for you guys.
Students and even teachers often complain about assessment requirements. It is important, though, for a variety of reasons, including decisions that need to be made and goals that need to be met, performance progression and enhancement, feedback provided to teachers, parents, and students, and of course the legalities. However, as our world evolves, technology can ease the process of administering assessments and possibly make it more fun for students to participate. This is a great resource that we found, just giving you more information about a teacher's guide to assessment, and there's also lots of visual aids that we found very helpful.
With the technology we have now, different new and more immediate methods of assessments are available for teachers. Not only does it take a stressor away from the teachers, but it also improves the quality of assessment and feedback students receive. Technology assessment tools can also produce results of what students are learning outside of school.
There are so many tools out there that could be used, but to highlight a few for formative assessment, Nearpod, Kahoot, Socrative, Zaption, and Google Docs are all good options. Looking at Nearpod, teachers can have students follow lesson plans and integrate progress measurement activities such as drawing, quizzes, or polls. Google Docs is useful because peer and teacher feedback can be added directly to the document.
Summative assessments can also be administered through many technologies. Google Sites, TestNav, iReady, and Educational Galaxy are all good options. State standardized tests, such as the NWEA, are also available on the computer. Looking specifically at Education Galaxy, teachers can assess based on different standards. It can be fun and easy to use for students while also recording cloud-based data. Keep in mind, many of the tools listed could be used for either assessment purpose, depending on how teachers implement them into their classroom.
It is important to note that technology is a good way to steer away from the typical paper and pencil tests. With that said, tools that will be used for assessment will also vary based on your educational goal. This website we thought was particularly, wrong website. Okay, this website we thought was particularly interesting because we talked about different methods of administering assessments: continuous, adaptive, instantaneous, gamified, or embedded. If you have a chance to check these out, it also provides good examples for each category.
As we use technology for assessment, we have to be sure the data being collected is accurate and easily accessible. The cool thing about many of the new technologies is that they collect data on the fly and store it for later evaluation. Some programs even create charts and graphs for you, which you could use to show your class or an individual how they are performing. Having the luxury of easily accessible data is important because it shows you where changes need to be made or whether or not certain students are struggling and need interventions.
When implementing technology for assessment into the classroom, we have to be sure that we treat it like any other educational technology. Teachers need to be able to communicate findings with others so that everybody is on the same page for the student. It must also be ethically implemented, meaning that it is appropriate for the age level and abilities of the student and is used in a transformative way. Lastly, we must research, explore, and practice with the assessment tool before we implement it. Not only will this allow us to teach our students how to use it, but we will be sure that the resource gives us accurate data and that the tool is intuitive for students.
As educators, we must remember that assessment is more than test taking. The possibilities for incorporating technology is also endless, as long as we do it effectively.